You're welcome to my channel. If today is your first time of seeing my video, you're welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, you're also welcome. So today we'll be drafting a basic body. As you can see, these are the things we'll be needing: my ruler, my tape. I'm using a pen today because I couldn't find my marker, and a scissors. So as you can see, I'm marking 1 inch at the top part. That is my starting line. So we'll be marking half of my shoulder measurement. My shoulder is 16, so I'm inputting 8 inches. And 3 inches for my neck width. Then for my neck depth, I'm using 5 inches. So I'll connect with my curve rule. I'll go down from my shoulder measurement by 1.5 inch. That's 1.5 inch for shoulder slope. Then I'll connect to the neck width. I'll measure my armhole length, which is 8 inches. Now I'm measuring my bust points, which is 12 inches. My under bust, which is 16 inches. My waist, which is 20, and 1 inch for folding allowance. So I'll connect the lines. So now I'm marking, I'm labeling it. This is my armhole line. You can't see it because it's a pen. This is my armhole line. This is my bust line. This is my under bust line. And this is my waistline. Then my hemline. So let's start drafting. So the 8 inches I marked at the top as my shoulder, half of my shoulder. So I'm going to mark the same at the armhole line. Then I'll draw a straight line from the 1.5 I measured down to the armhole line. Then I'll measure my bust. My bust is 44. Divide by 4 to give me 11. So I input the measurement at that my armhole line. Then I'll measure my armhole, the length, half of it, which is 4. Then I'll go in by half an inch. Then I'll connect it to get my armhole. I'll use my curve rule to connect it from the bust measurement I got, which is 11, down to that half an inch I took inward. So my armhole is done. So I'll start by imputing my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 10. So I'm putting half of my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 5. This is my bust point line. So I'm inputting half of my inch, my bust point, my under bust, and my waistline. So after imputing my nipple to nipple measurement, half of my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 5, I went down by 1 inch from my bust point. So I'll connect it from that 1 inch I marked under my bust point down to the waist on a straight line. So I'm going to put in my darts measurement, which I took half inch by the side from my waist line to my under bust. So now I'm connecting it from my waistline down to the 1 inch. So I'm taking my waist measurements. I divide my waist by 4. So I'm putting the measurement there. So I'll add the 1 inch for that. Then half an inch for my ease allowance. So I'm adding half an inch for the ease at my bust line because I didn't add it initial. So now I'm going back to add the 1 inch for the darts. So I'll connect it from the waist down to the armhole. So this is my measurement. So this is my front pattern. So now I'm adding half inch allowance all around. So I'm connecting it. So when I'm cutting it on my fabric now, there's no need of me adding any allowance because I already added the allowance. What I'm saying now is that I'm trying to mark my bust dart, which is 2 inches. So I'll go in by 1 inch from that 5, that nipple to nipple I marked. I'll go in by 1 inch. Then at the bust side, I'm going to mark down 2 inches. That is my bust dart. Why I'm marking 2 inches is because my front waist, from my shoulder to my waist at the front and from my shoulder to my waist at the back, is 2 inches different. My shoulder to my waist at the front is 20 inch, while my shoulder to my waist at the back is 18 inches. So when I close the bust dart, it's going to give me the same measurement with the back waist measurement. So that is why I'm marking in 2 inches as my bust dart. So if yours is more than 2 inches, you can mark whatever yours is, but mine is just 2 inches difference. So that is why I'm marking it. So whenever you're cutting, make sure you fold in the bust dart before cutting. You will see the reason why I fold in the bust dart. So this is the curve. If you cut it straight, you will not get this shape. So this is my back part. I've already drafted the starting line, the bust point, the under bust, and the waistline. So those are the lines, and I left 1 inch as zipper allowance at the back. So I'll input my shoulder measurement, which is 3 inches neck width, just the way we did with the front, but this time around I'm going in by 1 inch neck depth. So I'm going to connect with my curve ruler. Sorry, I'm adjusting the table. So this is my neck. So I'm going to go down by 1.5 inch from my shoulder, just the way we did at the front. Then I'll connect it straight to the neck width. So now I'm going to input my armhole measurement. So I'm marking down the shoulder measurement, which I marked at the starting line, which is 8. Then I'll connect from the 1.5 inch down to the armhole line. So I inputted my bust measurement, and now I'm going by the armhole line. I'll measure half of the armhole line, which is 4. Then I'll go in by 1/2 inch, just the way we did at the front. Then I'll connect it. So now I'm inputting my nipple to nipple measurement the way we did at the front pattern, from my bust point down to my waistline. So I'll connect it on a straight line. So I'm going to mark 1/2 inch. Then I'll connect it to my bust point. I don't like to connect it to my armhole. Normally you're supposed to connect it down to your armhole, but I don't like connecting my dart down to my armhole, so that is why I stopped at the bust point. Sorry, I missed the clip of cutting everything, but what happened was that at the zipper allowance by my waist side, I went in by 1/2 inch. You know, I left 1 inch, so I went in by the waist side 1/2 inch, and I connect it down to the neckline. So if you look at it very well, you see it slant 1/2 inch by the waist down to the neck. That's down to the 1 inch at the neck. Then you cut. That is to eliminate zip botch at the back of the waist. So I measured my bust measurements, my waist just the way we did at the front, added half inch round, then I cut it. So this is my back pattern and my front pattern together. So when I close, you can see the front is longer than the back. So when I close my 2 inches, it will equal to the back. So if yours is longer, you can input your own measurements and you get it. Just mark what you got there. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe.